Let's create our project for the Fabric mod on Minecraft. Today, we will start with a template mod generator and set up our dev environment for the Minecraft mods. Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. Today, we will start our project for our very first mod in Minecraft using Fabric mod loader. Now, you see that Fabric mc.net develop template. That's the link I will put into the description so that you can have it for all the time. This is a template generator developed by Fabric themselves. However, they say that if you want to see what it is doing, go and check this online repository here, and it's basically renaming stuff inside the repo, giving you a zip file, but it makes it easier to start our project for any mod from scratch. Now, the very first step is to choose a name for our mod. And I always hit that custom ID. So the name is something that you can put as you want. For example, you can say ZXC with capital words. Hitting a space, it won't work, but don't worry, it will work in a few seconds. So ZXC underline, for example, I don't know, tutorial. Why, you may ask, I did do the ZXC? Well, they are the closest keys on keyboards to each other around the space. And I want to make my life easier as I'm typing forward. So ZXC here has no meaning. Now you notice that I put an underline here. I will select that underline, hit a space, and now I have this space. However, when it comes to the mod ID, it's a little bit different. The mod ID can't be capital words, it can't have spaces, and I think it can't have numbers, but I'm not sure about that one. So ZXC underline tutorial as it is. Now, here's the start of your package name. The package name is what you will see when your mod is being developed, and the addresses for your packages starts with this. However, it says that, hey, put the com and then the mod ID and everything else. I suggest that if you are using a website, if you have a website for your mod, use the extension of that. For example, com means that you have something.com as your address for this specific mod. Normally, I don't have any website for my mods, so I will start with my name in the game and I will say ZXC. Okay, so that's it, and that will be my package name, although it has no meaning at all. Now, Minecraft version, if you want to mod for older versions, you can select them, but the latest version is 1.24. Here you have three options. Turn on that data generation. Data generation means that later you can use code generators to generate lots and lots of files for you automatically. With maybe a single line of code will generate a whole file with, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 lines of code in it. And that's a very nice way of developing your mod. You will see the result later. Just trust me, turn that one on. Now, split client and common sources. You may not know it. We will talk about it later. Minecraft has two different threads that going on side by side in parallel. One of them is the server, the other one is the client. And here you are saying that, hey, I want to separate the coding section for the server from the client. Normally, I turn it off. You better to turn it off. It doesn't change anything in the back end when your mod is being compiled. However, turning it on means that your code will be separated into sections, and for those who are starting the modding process, it makes it a little bit confusing. So turn that off. Now everything is ready. Just hit that download template. When you hit that download template, it generates a zip file. The zip file will be downloaded automatically. It's really small, 71 kilobyte. All you have to do is open it and it looks like this. Now I will create a folder on my hard drive dedicated to my projects, and this is the place that I have. So all that matters is my mod, bucket filler, fluid utils, and strip block, tune me. These 5 are my mods already being developed and published in Modrinth. So I create a new folder here and I will call it ZXC. Rename it to ZXC, and that's it. Opening it up, I will copy everything. I can drop the license file, but the rest are being dragged and dropped here. Now you may drop the GitHub again from dragging, and that's it. However, before opening it inside IntelliJ, I suggest that you change few things here as it is. The very first one, if you notice, we have this Gradle properties. Right click it and edit it with any text editor. I choose Notepad++ because that's my choice for text editor for all the times. Okay, now here you have to basically assign different versions for different things that you will use. By default, the very first thing that you want to change is your mod version. It's here. But I suggest that I will take it from there. Come down, put a hashtag, means a comment, and I will call it mod version. I will paste it there and I will change it. Basically, the way people suggest is that you use something like this, MC 1.20.4. Okay? After a plus, you can write anything you want. Here, there are 3 numbers. The first number on the left is the major versioning. It means that whenever something huge happens, for example, you rewrite your code from scratch, you will update this version. The middle one is something that people suggest in the Fabric Discord channel that you should change based on Minecraft update versions. For example, if it was Minecraft 1.23, then I would have a mod call with versions 1.0. something, and now that I'm upgrading to 20.4, I would change this middle one to 1. However, this is initial release, so it's 1.0. Now the last one is your minimum versioning number. This one changes every time you build your project for whatever reason, maybe debugging. I tend to use it as debugging because some people add another number and use this number for each time they build the project, even if they don't publish it. However, I think that's making things confusing. So this last digit on the right side is used whenever you publish the mod on the same version, just for example for a debugging or whatever reason. So this is your minimum number, and as the starting point 1.0.0 is a good start. Add a plus. MC means a new Minecraft. You can add a dash there. Some people add it, some people don't. And then 1.20.4 means that, hey, this is for this version of Minecraft. Okay, that's the very first thing we had to add. The dependency version, here we will add our versions later as we go forward. Now before, we would add mixin extras here. However, I think mixin extras is integrated inside Fabric right now, so we don't need to add it anymore, and it should work. We will see that when we get to mixins. However, remember, as we go forward, we will start adding stuff inside this Gradle.properties. As you see, the Jiraiya.zxc and zxc_ tutorial came from that template generator, so it got our values and set them here. Now here is a value that you may want to change, but I suggest that keep it at 1 GB, and that is the amount of memory you are dedicating for the Gradle itself. 1 GB is more than enough most of the time. Keep in mind, from now on, when you are going to update the Fabric and Fabric Loader, we will come and change these. Fabric version, Fabric Loader, or Yarn mappings, or Minecraft version. So these are the things that we may want to change in future. So I will add them right down below the dependencies because, well, they are working hand in hand with each other each time we want to upgrade for a new version of something. And the things on top are the things that I will never ever change again. That's good. However, this is not the end. We have another file that we need to change, and it sits inside source, main, resources, and that's this, fabric mod JSON. Again, open it with Notepad++. Many video tutorials tell you to open it inside, I don't know, IntelliJ IDEA, but I prefer to handle everything before opening my project for the first time. So from top, this is your mod ID again. This is the version that is being assigned using that properties that we just saw. This is the name of the project. Okay, here is the first thing. You need to change this. This is the description of your mod. So we say this is a tutorial mod for first steps. The videos are published on YouTube, and that's it. So if your mod is doing something special, put it there. Authors, if there are people that are writing this mod, you need to put their game ID here, Jiraiya, for me. Now, if we have any homepage for our mod or the source for our mod, later you will change these to be your Modrint link and GitHub link. License, be a little bit cautious here. I always use MIT because that's the easiest license. It gives freedom to everyone to do whatever they want with my code or assets that I provide. However, if you want to be restrictive, this is where you should put a more restrictive license. Now, the important part in all of these starts from here, the entry points, your mixins and dependencies and suggestions. Well, we are not depending our mod on any other mod, so we don't change these. We are not suggesting any other mods, but entry points and mixins are critical. For time being, we are saying that, hey, we have a ZXC tutorial class that is our main entry point, and we have a datagen that is sitting under this package with this name inside the project. And here is the JSON that defines our mixins. Good enough. And the JSON for our mixins is sitting right beside this one. So if we open it, we see that right now it has example mixins, okay? But in the time when we are developing mixins, when we are starting to teach you about mixins, you will see that we will come back to this file and add our classes one after another here. So just keep that in mind. Save this file, close this one, and we are ready to open our project. Now remember, the root where you see this Build.Gradle, settings.gradle is where everything should work. And this is where your project is being stored. So in IntelliJ, you need to tell that, hey, open it from this location. However, we are not done yet. We can tweak this Build.Gradle right here, right now, before opening the project. Although I don't suggest it, because if you look inside the languages for Notepad++, we have tons of languages, but we don't have Gradle. So it looks like a plain text, no highlighting, no nothing, and it's a little bit hard. However, I can get rid of these comments. You can keep them and read them. I will remove the comments. Make sure you don't remove anything other than the comments. That's it, and that's it. These are comments, and this is the comment. Okay, and now we have a clean Build.Gradle file that we can start working with. Closing that one again. Now finally, copy the address of your folder and go back into your IntelliJ IDEA. And here say that, hey, I want this ZXC project. And if you see, it's the folder that everything is inside of it. Hit OK, many things will start happening. A new project window will open. It says that Gradle is downloading stuff for you. And if you turn on build, you will see that things are starting here. And it will take time depending on your internet speed. It can be few seconds or it can be even 1 hour. So be patient with this guy. As long as it's running, as long as you don't have any errors, it's good. If you got any errors, don't worry. you just rerun the Gradle, or if you look, there is this 2 arrows here. Now you see this Gradle tab, 2 arrows, hit it and it will start again. Sometimes the internet may cause issues, sometimes a website is down, stuff like that. Now this is the best time to go on and set up few different things as the Gradle is running. The very first one is go to your project structure. In project structure, you notice that the project says SDK, no SDK. Now choose anything that has 17 in the name, and this is Timurine 17 for me. Language level, choose 18. Don't use 20. Anything above 18, Minecraft will not work, because Minecraft is developed using the language version 18, and modules right now you don't have anything there. Libraries, facets, artifacts, SDK, okay, and that's it basically. So that's one of them. The other one is coming to settings, going to tools, build tools, Gradle, and make sure that you are using the 17 version here. I'm using the Java Home Oracle JDK, or you can set it to use the Timurine 17 version. Again, anything with 17 is okay here. And from this point on, you will let Gradle do its job. However, I can do something. Now, Build.Gradle is a little bit advanced. I mean, Gradle has tons of video tutorials out there in YouTube by itself. There is one thing that I don't like when I look into how the Gradle provided by Fabric template is working. And that is when I build my project, the final jar, and I want to publish it, I don't have any way of checking if my mod version is okay or not. I mean, if I have, for example, a mod version of 1.0.0 plus MC 1.20.4, this means that I had published the mod before with this version on Modrinth. Now, if I rebuild with the same version and I want to publish it, it completely negates the meaning of versioning. Also, you have to delete the old one and upload the new one. So I want to have something that checks if I have a new version or if I'm using an old version. Now, keep in mind, you will add more repositories here, and as you go forward, as you use different libraries, you will have to add the repositories here on the Build.Gradle. And also, you will have to add the dependencies down here. Other than that, everything is okay as it is. I tend to close these that I don't need to, just keeping the repository and the dependencies open. One thing though, you notice that it shows me a long line. It means a tab character. And I said that you either use characters for tab or spaces. How to fix it? Well, right click on the file in the project window and say reformat code. And it says it's not working because, well, IDE is re-indexing the file right now. Okay, but you should do it later so that it will replace these tabs with the spaces. Okay, how do we basically check the versioning and making sure that the version is the one we want? We create a tasks in Gradle and we call it check version file validation. Okay, now tasks in Gradle is marked on when to be used and when to be executed. All we do is that we say that, hey, do this task at first of your life cycle for building anything. Okay, and here we can say that, hey, we want a file, we call it test file, making a new file, and we call it $ curly braces remap jar dot archive file dot get. Pay attention to the capital words. Don't make any mistake here because it's really hard to track these mistakes. So that's it. Put a semicolon at the end. Then we say if test file dot is file. What we are saying here is that, hey, get the versioning, and if we have a file here with that version, we want to stop everything. So throw new Gradle exception, and we say that, hey, a project version is built before. Change the project version, and we mark that version with this dollar curly braces project dot mod underline version. And this is how you get access to the variables that you put inside that Gradle.properties. Here we have just that mod version, and that's exactly what we have here in mod version. Okay. Now, after the curly brace, we say else, another curly brace, print ln, print new line, and we say project version needs building, and here we add more. So we say dollar curly braces project dot archive underline base underline name, after the curly brace dash dollar curly brace project dot mod underline version. Now this, we don't have any parentheses for this printer, and this is not Java. Now this means that we go and get the archive base name. Now archive base name will be something like, here is archive base name, if you see it's in the project, so it's ZXC underline tutorial. Okay, then we add a dash and the version that we want. So this line is just an informative line that will be printed inside the build window, but it's nice to have, and this is the meaning of it. So we get this ZXC underline tutorial dash the version of our mod, and we say that, hey, we need to build it. Okay, and finally we say compile java dot depends on, with capital O, check version file validation, and that's it. So each time we build our project, Gradle will get to this line and says, hey, our compilation depends on execution of this task, and this task should happen first things first. So then it will check if the file exists, and if exists, it's throwing a new exception, stopping the building process, telling you that, hey, there is a project with this version number before in your library, in your folders. If the file does not exist, then it's just printing an informative line saying that, hey, we need to build it, and then it will continue to compile the project. So this is how we can check if the previous versions of the file exists in our final builds, or we are okay with the current version when we are building the project. This is the only thing that I want to add in every single project. So once you have typed it and you have in one project, you can just copy it and paste it, and you will make sure that everything is okay all the time, because it's the same thing happening over and over and over in different projects. That's it. Also, when it comes to the top repository sections, most of the time I put the same things here. I will copy and paste each one of them, and I will talk about it as we go forward so that you will understand what is going on, but then you may want to delete some of them in future. So first thing is for REI. If you ever played Minecraft, you know what is REI, and REI is almost a good starting point for depending your mod on any other mod, because you want to show stuff in REI. You know, you want to show your recipes, your objects, maybe a complex recipe should be shown inside REI, and that is the repository to get access to the REI library and API. Okay, the next one is a Maven for Curse, Minecraft Curse. The other one is for Cotton MC. Cotton MC is just for libguis. We will talk about them later, don't worry. And I will show you where you can get these later. So the next one is for Lady Snake mods. Now Lady Snake mods, we will talk about it. It's a very easy way of having access to different effects for your player, okay? But as I said, we will come to these one after another in future, showing you how you can get access to these as we go forward. Now the other one is Terraformer MC, and that's here. If you want to, you can have access to minecraftforge.net. However, I don't see why you would want to do that. If you want to, it's here. And the last one is Cryptonaut Dev. So these are again some addresses for repositories, nothing beyond that. They are just addresses. By themselves, they don't do anything. As long as you don't add the dependencies, these will not do anything, okay? So most of the time, I just copy and paste these one after another into every project. So that's just that, just some addresses as a reference. You can pause the video, you can add each one of them if you want and type them, or you can wait, and as we go forward inside the tutorial series, I will tell you that you can get this address from this repository, and you will remember that. I just want to type them so that every time I start a project, I have them in one place ready to go, and that's it. So right now, I'm still waiting for this build task to finish. And as you saw, it started downloading stuff for me, and it's not even finished. It's still downloading assets, and it will do more and more. So as I said, your very first time of running your project can take time. Sometimes 1 hour, sometimes 10 minutes. It totally depends on your internet speed. Now, do we have to sit back and watch? Well, you can add few more things. For example, inside ZXC, you can hit Alt Insert and add a file or a directory. There are few directories that we will have in our projects. One of them is called item. So I will add it right now. The other one is block. So not file, sorry. Directory, call it block. So basically we are starting to put our structure but without changing any critical sections so that Gradle can do its job. And moving forward, so the next one we may want is a command folder, and then another directory for compatibilities. So here is the code we will write for REI directory DataGen, because everything related to DataGen will work there and will sit there. Another directory for if we have effects, and by the way, you can use it just like this, right click new directory, you can do that too. So the next one is event for events, and enchantment, fluid, network, maybe painting if you want, particle, potion, not packages. Sorry, oh, things started changing. You notice that it got closed and the color changed and everything has a dot now because the indexing is finished finally. And it's processing to build the dependencies and it says, hey, build is successful. So Gradle is finished. However, I will run that circle once again because I added few tasks here and some mavens without dependencies. And you see that it, instead of some 30 to 40 minutes, now it takes only 6 seconds. Okay, so now we will add packages, and packages here means the same thing. We are adding folders there. So we gone on to potions, recipe, after recipe, screen for the GUI, another package for sound, and utils or util. The next one is world, villager, and finally one for block entities or block entity. Now let me check. Okay, inside the screen and other stuff, we will have other folders inside each other. So I will add them now. For example, inside block entity, we will have a package called renderer. Okay, and inside DataGen, we will have a package called recipe. Here we will have another package that I completely missed on the root, and it's called entity. Now, entity, block entities basically are type of entity, but I will keep them separated because these are mobs, okay, related to mobs. So under this, we will have a package called AI, a package for animations, another package for client, package for custom, I will talk about it later, layer and variant. Okay, now networking, I will have a new package here called packet. Screen has one subfolder or sub package called renderer. Now I like to put villagers under the world, because that's part of the world, okay? It's as easy as drag and drop villager on top of the world and hit refactor, and it will repackage it. So here we will have more packages called biome, new packages for dimension, world gen, and finally tree. And again, for world gen, I will put this tree under the world gen, and we may have more things here down the line. We will talk about them later, not right now. Okay, I think that's a good starting point. However, instead of renderer, I will prefer to have handler. So I will add a package here called handler, and that's it. So why did I add all of these? And that's not the only ones. You will see that in a few seconds I will go into the resources folder. When you add things like this, you can just keep a copy of the currently existing folder as your own template, and then change everything from scratch there, and you will have all of these folders once and for all. So for resources, assets, under the tutorial or your mod name, basically, you will have a directory and you will call it block states. You will have another directory, call it lang, another directory, call it models, another directory, textures. Inside the lang, you will have a new file, call it en_us.json. Leave it empty, or actually, instead of leaving it empty because it will cause an error, put a curly brace, open and close curly brace, and that's it. So inside models, we will have two directories, one for block, one for item. Under textures, pay attention to the plural thing. We will have block, we will have GUI, we will have item, mob, effect, models again, and basically that's it. Under models, we will have another called armor, and I think that's it. So I add one more folder here. Right under assets, I will create a folder called Minecraft. And inside Minecraft, for time being, we will have nothing. Now, under the resources directory, directly, we will have something called data. Under data, again, you will have two folders. One is exactly looking like this, with the mod ID, ZXC tutorial. And the other one is Minecraft. Under the ZXC tutorial, we have a directory called loot underline tables, again plural, and then another directory under this called blocks. This is the only time you have plural block inside resources hierarchy. And in Minecraft, we have two folders. One is called recipes and the other one is called world gen. Now, having it like this, also we will have tags, but we will attach to the tags in different way without using our own hierarchy of JSON files. What we did right now is creating tons of empty folders that there is nothing in it, okay? However, I will open the GUI on textures. So right click, open in Explorer, and I will add some textures that I have from my template. Don't worry, I will bundle them and add them as a resource inside Discord channel so that you can download them. Remember, these are just separated texture files and you can combine them to each other so that you will get a nice looking interface later, especially when you use libgui. But for time being, just copy them inside your folder and they are there. So if we want to take a look, they're just a bunch of arrows, stuff like that. Here we go. Okay, so these are just temporarily there. If I don't use any of them in the final project, well, I will delete them later. And these two are the same, so I will just do no, and that's it. Finally, our project is ready, okay? The only thing remaining is that if I just right click and hey, reload from disk, it just adds them, okay? The only thing remaining is that I want to add this whole thing to the GitHub, and I will call it as the ZXC tutorial repository so that you guys can get access to and download it. Keep in mind, I will add those resources resources later. However, before going into GitHub, I will open the whole thing inside my Explorer, and I will select everything. Remember, we don't have a .github here. And I will zip them, add to archive as a zip, and I will call it my temp project, okay? My temp mod project. This way, I will have most of the downloads ready, because remember, Gradle will download stuff, and they are there sitting inside that .gradle folder. And this is the file now, 32 megabytes, and I will keep it somewhere safe. For example, inside my Fabric folder dedicated for my mods, and it's there, so whenever I want to create a new mod, I just extract it to my temp mod project, change the name, but keep in mind then I need to come back and change the folder names for the Jiraiya, ZXC, these names here, and the information sitting here, and also these two. So I need to change them for each mod. However, the way I use it is that I will just create a new template from the Fabric. I will copy these folders, paste them inside there, copy this folder, and whatever sitting underline, and then, you know, just get done with it, and then I will start the project for the very first time. So it will address these and rename the packages for me directly when I open the project for the first time. And that's it. So that is how I use my template. I'm not gonna extract it, change the names. No, I will use that Fabric template generator, just drag and copy the folders from the temp file into different sections and get done with it, and then run the project. So right now we have no run files. That's the last thing remaining. If we look into the tasks for Fabric, we have this run client here. So we hit the run client the very first time from this task list, and the Minecraft should come up. And hell, you see our message here, project version needs building blah. Okay, it means that we don't have any built project ready to run and use, and yes, we don't have any. This is a good thing. It shows me that, hey, mixin extras is already installed, so we don't need to add it manually later when we are working with mixins. This comes from our mod, as you see here. ZXC tutorial says, hello Fabric world. Well, you'll change it in future, but for time being, that's it. And Minecraft is loading. Let it load, and as it's loading up, I will do something. I have a preset for any flat world. I will open the main file. I will copy it from my project inside here, paste it, get rid of these comments, save it, and then I will keep that one from top. Here, copy, go back to Minecraft. It's still loading. Okay, you see that we have these errors. Sometimes you see errors happening, but as long as it's working, then it's okay. So inside options, let's turn down that music weathers. We don't want that. And I will turn down the master volume to 25. Done. And now single player. It's creative, it's peaceful, the word type is super flat, customize, presets, and here I will paste my preset, use preset. 5 layers of bedrock, 30 layers of cyan wool, 1 layer of carpet. Done. Going into the game rules, here we will say that keep inventory after that to true, advanced time of day is false, update weather to false, done, and then we will change it to test world and it create. And that's it. Basically now we have our world that we can put everything and test it, and Minecraft is running basically. Okay, now let's see. It says that command this finished with non-zero exit value. SSL is not I don't worry about SSL, but this thing, okay, that's an error. Let's run the client again, or alternatively we can close this project and reopen it. That's the better way. Let's close this project and reopen it, and I will come back. Now the reason I closed the project and reopened it is this. You see that Minecraft client datagen and server being added directly on top. That happens when you close your project and reopen it. Now from now on, I will run this Minecraft client because it's a better choice compared to this task, because this task is not configured properly. It's just for the start. So let's run it and see if we get that error again, because it shouldn't happen. And if we get that error again, means that something with our installation of the whole thing is wrong. And because I had different mods being developed up until now and I know that they are okay, so it's interesting to see that error again. Okay, Minecraft is coming up. Now Minecraft is running, but take a look, we have some errors here, it looks like. And it says fail to fetch user properties. That's the okay error. However, this one says fail to request this public key. It looks like I have some issues with SSL handshaking on my network right now. But I would say that it should run the client. It shouldn't interfere with it. And as you see, we are there, okay? So the very first thing I want to do, that's a personal preference, is to go to controls, mouse, and invert the mouse. And the next one is, if you look, the sun is in early mornings. I will say time set to midday. Okay, that's it. Basically, we have our Word, everything is ready to run, and we can just get out of the Minecraft, get out of it, and we are ready to start our journey as a mod developer with a properly prepared dev environment. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone. Bye.